Welcome to solverfy.
Okay, this question is focusing on subsets. And it says for each of these pairs of sets, determine whether the first is a subset of the second is a subset of the first, or neither is a subset of the other. And then we have three pairs of sets. So let's start with the first one down here. Our first set is going to be airline flights from New York to New Delhi. And our second set is nonstop flights from New York to New Delhi. So now, to be honest, this one was a little tricky for me because they kind of look the same. Airline flights from New York to New Delhi. If it's going from New York to New Delhi and nowhere else, it's probably nonstop. But that being said, I'm gonna define this as our set A is airline flights from New York to New Delhi. That means I'm going to define this as someone gets on in New York to fly and their final destination is New Delhi. So that's how I'm going to define it. They get on in New York and their final destination is New Delhi, but there may be some stops in the middle. I don't know where those would be, but somewhere in between New York and New Delhi, they get off a plane, they get on the next plane. So these are the kinds of airline flights that I would take. Ones with multiple stops because I'm poor. The second one I'm going to define as you get on New York when you get off the first airplane, you're in New Delhi. Okay, so I would say both achieve the same thing. You can get on the plane in New York and get off in New Delhi, but I'm going to say that these nonstop flights are a subset of just all flights from New York to New Delhi. So B, in this case, B is a subset of A. Nonstop flights from New York to New Delhi are a subset of all airline flights from New York to New Delhi. The second one, also got to think about it a little bit. People who speak English, people who speak Chinese. Okay, so let's think about this one. Let's make a Venn diagram. So here's all the people that speak Chinese. And what happens if we put a little subset in here that is English? What would that mean? That would mean that all the people who speak English also speak Chinese, but there are some people out there who only speak Chinese. That would make that so that English is a subset of Chinese. Let's do the same thing with this, where we have our English, and somewhere in here we have our Chinese, and we say, okay, for this to be the case where Chinese is a subset, people who speak Chinese is a subset of English, that would mean the folks who speak Chinese, all of them also speak English. And we know that that's not the case. For example, I speak English, I don't speak Chinese. I'm sure there are people out there in the world who speak Chinese and don't speak English. And so this one, the answer is going to be neither is a subset of the other. Our last one here, we've got flying squirrels and living creatures that can fly. I'm guessing, if I'm looking at this again, going with the Venn diagram, somehow that sometimes helps me. This would be our set B, all the living creatures that can fly. And then, of course, we got our squirrels here that can fly. And so they're going to be a subset of all living creatures that can fly.